Hi, and welcome back to Grassroots Crypto, where I like to teach people about crypto. In this video, we're going to be talking about memoless transactions, or as I sometimes call it, memoless swaps. We're going to be talking about why memoless transactions, what they are, how they work, a little bit how to use them, where to get more information, and have a bit of a discussion on where they are at today. If you want to learn more about THORChain, don't forget to like and subscribe and see other detailed videos that I've done on THORChain in the past. With that said, let's get into memoless swaps. First, let's talk about memos. What are memos? Memos are the user intent that a user sends to THORChain. It tells THORChain what the user wants to do. They can be complex as well as extremely long, as you can see here for a swap. As an example, opening a loan, they can be quite long and quite complex. As it says up here, not all blockchains support very long memos. Bitcoin has an 80 byte limit and other chains also have limitations there. In addition, not every user interface supports memos. They're not going to be, adding these user intent instructions into transactions. So in a way that limits the growth for THORChain, because you can't just have any wallet that doesn't support memos working with THORChain, because THORChain needs these memos. Well, except for savers, but we'll move on from there. And the last point is these memos can, as I said, can be quite long, and when you're recording on-chain data, there's a cost. There's essentially a cost per byte or a cost per character. So when you couple all of this, that not all user interfaces support memos, certain chains have memo restrictions, and large complex memos cost the user in inbound transactions, memoless transactions, otherwise known as memoless swaps, but it's more than swaps, is a way to try and deal with these three problems. When we think of memos is the user intent or the instructions that are sent to THORChain. So as an example, if we want to swap Bitcoin to Ethereum, we send a Bitcoin in, we send Bitcoin to THORChain, and we say essentially, take that Ethereum and swap it to Ethereum, e.g. the asset, and send it to this address. And this is where we can put a limit, we can have streaming swaps and affiliate fees. If you want to add to savers, you'll be saying I want to add to the Bitcoin savers. That's what this memo does. Or to take out a new loan, you'll be using a memo like this, which is given the collateral sent in, take out a new loan and put the debt amount into USDC and send it to this particular address. So how does memoless transactions work? A user will be using a THORChain message deposit, which is a special type of message on the THORChain blockchain. And then they will put the memo that they want. They can get this from the quote endpoint inside of the inside of the message deposit. THORChain will then create what's known as a short code, and you can think of this. I like to think of it as a quote number. Like if you go to a business, do some repairs or whatever, they're going to have a quote, and that you can call up and reference that quote number or short code, and it'll have all the quote details, all the specifics about it. In order to find that short code that's been saved, you can use an endpoint with THORChain and reference the inbound transaction ID, which you would have had. And then that as the key, that inbound transaction ID is the key, and you'll be able to get the short code. From there, you can do two things with the short code. When you're sending your Bitcoin in, you can use, or whatever asset, you can use the short code within the amount, like with the last so many digits within the amount of the asset being put in. And if that matches, then that's essentially a memoless transaction. It'll take that code, that short code, and say, okay, this is the memo they wanted, and then process the inbound based off the memo that was registered before, because it's a part of the inbound amount. You can also use this code within the memo itself. So instead of having a very long memo, you can have registered that and then just put it's 1,575 inside of the memo, and then THORChain will say, yep, I understand what that is. This is the memo that the person had registered before, so we're going to go ahead and use that memo. And then that enables chains with very limited space to utilize memos, and wallets that don't have, don't want to be sending memos, to put the memo inside of the amount. Within each chain, there's about 10,000 shortcodes possible, and then they rotate every 24 hours. So if you register one, you've got about 24 hours to use it. else it will expire and you need to go through and register again. When you're using the shortcode, you need to specify the chain because it's the shortcodes per chain. So you'll do something like that if you wanted to use one for BTC, and you can register different ones for Ethereum and whatever chains are supported on THORChain. So that's Memoless Transactions. It's yet to be released, but in a nutshell, a way you can interact with THORChain without using memos, or you can register a memo with very long memos, and then just use that shortcode instead of having to use very long memos on chain. So for more information on Memoless Transactions, you can have a look at the feature here. This is the issue, the write-up. This is the design, and give you an idea of what the memos would look like, as well as the endpoints planned. You can have a look at the actual PR, and this is where all the code was written. And this is open. It hasn't been merged yet, but you can check out the branch if you want, have more of a look about what's happening, as well as the handlers and the code and all that type of stuff. There's a code walkthrough that Chad made, the developer, and you can have a look through that. He talks through the code and how it's all meant to work. And there's also a feature that's probably a link PR here as well on the actual, doing the same thing for ERC20 deposits as well. So that way it can all be memoless. So talking about where Memoless Transactions are, as I said, it's not activated yet, and this feature, this merge request is not yet merged. There's a bit of a debate going on whether or not this is something that's required, because we can add Taproot, we can do some similar, some workarounds for Bitcoin as well, but that would only be specific to Bitcoin after the hard fork. So I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think Memoless Transactions and what I've spelled out here is a beneficial feature? You think this is something that people are going to want and implement to reduce their on-chain cost, to allow wallets that don't use memos in order to interact with THORChain, or to simplify the process for UIs? Or do you think Memoless Transactions is a good idea at the time, but perhaps not longer required? Because that's what I guess the argument is. Really keen to hear what you think. Put your comments in the section below. My point of view is I still think it's a great idea. I think it should be implemented, but obviously it's not all up to me. Well, that's the video. If you like it, hit the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to see more videos like this. Check out my other videos for more information on THORChain. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.